Hello, my name is Emily Mitchell. I'm the founder of Motherhood Milestones and an author in the book Purpose and Passion. I will be reading a short excerpt from my chapter today, but just before I do, I'll introduce myself. So I'm here to disrupt the motherhood narrative. I became a mum nearly 4 years ago, and it became so apparent how unappreciated, unacknowledged, and unvalidated, if that's a word, motherhood and mothers were. So I jumped in and decided to change that and create a way, a mainstream way for people to support the mothers in their lives through heartfelt cards for real life mums. I create space for conversations that we don't have often and need to. I create space for conversations that society hides behind in silence. I create cards that cover topics like IVF, pregnancy and infant loss, postpartum, breastfeeding, mums keeping the magic alive at Christmas. These cards are mother-centered, and they exist to really celebrate, validate, and acknowledge mothers because we don't do it enough every day. So my chapter in Purpose and Passion is titled Birthing Business, Lessons from Motherhood. And I'm going to read you the start of my chapter, and you'll see that I break it up into 4 distinct sections, and I liken birthing and nurturing a baby to launching and growing a business. And the similarities are uncanny. All right, here we go. It was 9 p.m. the night before my son's first birthday. I was swearing and on the verge of tears as I was making his cake. The icing wasn't cooperating, and the picture in my head compared to what I had in front of me couldn't be more different. Motherhood, anyone? I had put so much pressure on myself for the cake to be homemade and perfect, which represented how I wanted to be portrayed as a mother. What I didn't know then was that I was chasing an impossible standard. At the party the next day, as everyone was celebrating my son and we cut the cake, I just thought, what about me? I'm the one who grew, birthed, fed, and nurtured him. I'm the one who kept him alive and thriving for a year, and my prize? A barrage of stress from the birthday, where my effort and sacrifice over the past year wasn't even acknowledged. It was my birthday too, after all. I began to wonder if this was how all mums felt, and decided we deserved to be reminded that we mattered too. I was motivated to make sure mothers felt celebrated and validated, that we were thanked and recognized for the crucial work we do every day. I committed myself to bettering women's motherhood journeys. And as a new mum, birthed my business to gain some control and make it happen. While there isn't a lot of control in motherhood, I soon found many similarities between birthing and nurturing a baby versus launching and running a business. In the preconception phase, we prepare. It's in this phase that ideas and intentions are born. It's often from pain, wants, or needs. Any good business solves a problem, otherwise there's just no demand for it. There are practical problems to fix, like creating shoes to protect feet, but there are also emotional or psychological problems to fix, like supporting mothers to feel seen and valued. Consider what problem your business idea fixes and how it can make people feel. That's your selling point. Test it with family, friends, and anyone else in your network to see if there's a demand. Hand in hand with this is your why. Your why is the reason behind your business. It's important to have a strong why behind what you do. It gives you purpose, passion, direction, and motivation during the good and the bad days. It's easy to find your why when what you want is a future baby. You're already wired to give them the best possible life, and that starts before they're even an embryo. In business, it can be a bit harder to find and maintain that strong why. To find your why, ask yourself, what do I want this business to achieve, and why is that important? And keep asking. Dig deeper until it makes you emotional. Use your story to fuel your why. My story started on my very first day of maternity leave at 37 weeks and 3 days. I stood up from the couch to put a plate in the sink after dinner and felt a gush. Initially, I thought it was my waters breaking, but when I went to investigate, all I saw was bright red blood flooding out. I rang the hospital and told them I was coming in. The midwife on the phone sounded indifferent, which foreshadowed how I would be treated within the health system. I had had a partial placental abruption, which led to an emergency C-section and a postpartum hemorrhage. While I was on the table in theatre, I felt like an afterthought. No one acknowledged the incredible transition from maiden to mother that had unfolded. It felt like I was only there so they could pluck my baby out, then I was discarded. My experience was not seen as important, and this thought bled into a depleted postpartum period where I was taught the only thing that mattered was my baby. But I decided mothers mattered too, and chose to educate and empower women and their families so they didn't have the same experience. Why? Because mothers are as vulnerable as their babies and they deserve to be held just as tight. In motherhood, our why is rarely us, but I urge you to include you in your business why. My business was born from my own lackluster introduction to motherhood. I believe I deserved a better experience, that all mums deserve a better experience, and I don't want any other mum feeling unappreciated, alone, or overwhelmed. So I did something for them, but also for me. What's your story and your why? Thank you so much.